Let's just be honest with each other. There is a whole bunch of uncertainty going on in the collective right now. People are unsure of who they are, of what's going to happen in society, if there's going to be an electrical bomb that goes off that shuts off the entire grid. There's a lot of panic. There's a lot of anxiety going on. And my intention for this video, if you're watching this, to let you know that if you're watching this and if you choose to have faith and if you choose to believe not in what people are saying, but in your own heart, in your own soul, and in your own path, you will be absolutely fine, I promise. And my other intention is to shed some light on what's happening on the new moon, September 25th, 2022, the end of this Mercury retrograde, and what you can expect from here moving forward. This is all about what you need to know in the new moon in Libra coming up September 25th, 2022. Let's get right into it. Welcome, soul family, or welcome back to the channel. My name is Brandon Tobias. It's an honor to have you here on our channel. I'm an intuitive guide, professional astrologer, and psychic medium, and I'm here to help align you with your highest path and or your deepest path, your true path and purpose on this earth. If you want more content to help guide your way, hit that subscribe button, and if you do end up enjoying this content, do me a favor. I'd really appreciate if you hit that like button, as well as that share and comment button. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the astrology. This is what you need to know. September 25th, new moon in Libra. Okay, the first thing that I see here that's really significant is I want you guys to take a look at this south node placement. Okay, there's something very significant about this south node. We call the South Node and North Node K2 and Rahu, or Rahu and K2 in Vedic astrology. It's the tail end and the head of a snake or dragon. And where the head of the snake is going is where society is going collectively, and where the tail of the dragon or the snake is going is where we're coming from. And oftentimes includes past life or past collective lessons from our history of as a society, as a human race, right? That we need to learn from, that we're learning karmically from. Okay, and something tells me that right now, not just something, but the astrology tells me right now that this is a very, very, very significant lesson that's happening here. Okay, that's gonna cause us to grab onto and be more independent as a nation. One thing I can share with you is that one thing we're learning collectively is how to retain our individuality, how to retain our individual sense of purpose and or leadership. It may seem or feel like to you like that's starting to try and be taken away, whether that's from a job, whether that's from society itself, whether that's from social media, even family. If you've been feeling like people are trying to dull your sense of expression, your sense of individuality, your sense of purpose down to be the same or to be more like them or to be something different from what you are, and you finally realized and said, I've had enough. I'm here to retain my sense of individuality, my sense of purpose, and my sense of me now and for the long term. You are not alone. You are a part of the collective of people, myself included, who are waking up to saying, I want to be more like me, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Now, South Node here is in retrograde, so it's an especially deep time. Obviously, Mercury retrograde is going on at the time of this video, right? You can see here this little RX symbol by the Mercury, conjunct Venus, conjunct the Moon and the Sun, conjunct 2 degrees at Libra. Let's go back to the South Node, though. So South Node here in Scorpio making a trine to Juno. You can see here in Pisces, and I'll explain this in a second. It's making a obviously an opposition to the North Node, but also Uranus as well. We'll talk about that in a second. And then it's making a trine over to Lilith. Okay, and this is the big one in Cancer. Okay, now the reason I'm hitting on this, it's not a very commonly talked about topic in the astrology, but Lilith is all about shadowy or dark energy, shadowy, dark parts of ourself, shadowy, dark parts of our feminine inside of us and externally as well. Okay. Now, this is by no means an attack on the feminine energy. Feminine energy is obviously an amazing and critical part of the world and the planet. But what's happening around this new moon is, in Cancer especially, okay, there is these deep realizations, epiphanies, okay, and feelings from the depths of our soul around the darkness that we have created or are continuing to create around specifically the feminine energy that circles or centers around vengeance, okay? Vengeance. So to put this into perspective or to really ground this down, I want you to think about areas in your life where you've had a bit of vengefulness because of places you've been wronged and or places that you have not felt fully seen, heard, or validated for who you are and what you bring to the table. Okay. Now, if you're like me, you can see, right, that across time, over time, this has been a collective, societal, and perhaps even feminine wound where the feminine energy has felt repressed. The feminine energy has felt blamed. The feminine energy has felt attacked or subjugated to being lesser in some ways, especially in past times. That's no longer the case. But what's carried with this return of the feminine energy in a very strong way has come with it a bit of this vengefulness back towards the masculine or back towards society that seeks to take out, right, a little bit of its rage and anger from being repressed for so long, okay? But the good news is with this South Node here trining, okay, Lilith, is yes, this is going to be exposed, but it's going to be exposed in a healthy way, especially in Cancer here. And then obviously the moon in Libra. So this is, and Venus here. So it's about creating peace and creating harmony around past wounds that have emanated towards and because of and from the feminine energy. Okay. And really what it represents on a larger scale is the equalization of the pure or real essence of the feminine coming into a new state of equality with the masculine energy. Not from a state of hurt or vengefulness or attack, but from a state of, I am different, okay? I am different in my beingness, and I am just as valuable as you, but I'm also very different, right? Always the way it was intended. Okay, so that's the most important thing. Now, obviously, one of the highlights here of this new moon, as we see here occurring again on the 25th, is we're at 2 degrees Libra, 48 minutes, and Mercury is here in the middle of its retrograde with Venus, okay, and Venus in Virgo, okay. So very powerful alignment here that signifies a lot of relationship change, okay. Relationships to pieces of ourselves, and if we're with someone, relationship to our significant other, and how we see them in comparison and contrast to how we see ourselves. In fact, there may be a huge light that comes up from beneath the surface during this new moon about something inside of us, ourselves, you, that we've repressed, that because that part has been repressed, we've been either projecting it or blaming it on the other person quite a bit, okay? That has created disharmony up until this point in order to be healed. Now, if you're not in a relationship, that's okay. This still applies to you in that it's the relationship you will have with the world and or the potential partners that you would like to be with if you want to be with someone, or really just how you see. Because even if you're not interested or looking for love, and many people aren't, that's okay. The universe still finds a way to bring up these wounds and triggers. And so you'll likely have coworkers or family members, or you'll have random occurrences on the internet, right, with people that bring up these specific wounds that during this new moon you can officially release to see those parts of them and yourself very differently that will bring you to a much more empowered place, much more clear, right, clear-headed place, and also a much more happy, okay, because Venus and Mercury, especially with Mercury in retrograde, it's about bringing back that sense of authentic joy and happiness and peace within you that you may have once had, but you may have lost at some point due to this repression of this part of yourself that's been, again, projected or brought out from different relationships or people that you've been in contact with, in tandem with here. Okay. All right. So I just want to pause really quickly and give a quick reflection on how I believe this new moon is impacting society, or where it will bring society overall. I realize this is a bit of a collective reading, and hopefully that's okay. But look at this, Pluto in Capricorn, okay, hitting a strong trine, okay, at least here with Mercury and Venus, still technically hitting the moon and the sun, but Pluto hitting that trine as well, And we talked about, obviously, the South Node trining Lilith over here. But very strong and positive ability to re-energize our authentic sense of motivation, the spark of who we are, okay? I don't see it being this disastrous, throw yourself fire in the flames kind of destruction energy. I see it being a rebirth of sorts, an internal rebirth that you can actually cultivate and use to channel into a new direction for your life path and your life purpose. One of the TikToks I made not too long ago was talking about September 24th. September 24th, everyone's saying something's happening, and I go, I'm not opposed. Something may be coming. Okay, some big societal natural disaster that may be coming for sure. But really, what is this something is coming energy? What is that wanting to bring out of you, right? Is it kind of this temptation energy for you, like, oh, if something big hits, like something really messes with society, I don't have to work my job anymore, or I won't have to pay my bills anymore, right? Or I won't have to be in this way of being that I just don't want to be in anymore because I have this excuse that society has gone through this big change, right? I think there are many, many people, myself included, right, that are looking at things and going, okay, we just got to make it a little further because then the big one's going to hit and then life's going to be a big different. There's kind of this like transitionary or stationary anticipation energy for whatever is going to hit that's going to reset things and allow us to live life in a different way. And my question to you is, if that thing were to never come, and I'm not saying it's not, but if that thing, whatever that means for you, were to never come, what would the changes that thing would have brought, that you perceive that thing would have brought to your life, what would those changes be for you? Would it be quitting your job and starting something completely new, or taking a leap of faith into an online business because that's how you had to survive? Would it be, hey, I'm going to go travel the world and not look back? Or would I'm going to go find a new relationship? What would those big changes bring out for you, okay, that you can do now that would, in essence, prepare you anyways for something drastic or big to come? That's my question for you at this moment in time. And I think that's one of the most important questions for this new moon is, what is it you can do today and during this new moon that can create more harmony inside of yourself? What actions can you take externally that will allow yourself to re-spark and to re-energize and to find that authentic new direction that's going to take you where you want to go, that doesn't need to be reset, that doesn't need to be changed by some big societal global event that you might have been hoping for, because of the possibility of it shaking things up out of your daily reality. Let's go ahead and shake that thing up. Let's give that a rumble, or let's give that a shake in your daily life without the big one hitting, right? And I promise you that will be in itself maybe the solution that you're looking for, that will allow you, again, to create even more external safety to whatever big external event may be happening. Okay. And just for the record, I'm not opposed or thinking, right, that nothing is going to happen. I do think that in time there's going to be some big changes happening in society, but that's for future videos for sure. All right, let's make one last quick note specifically about this new moon, and then I'll talk about my thoughts at the end of Mercury retrograde and then what you can expect moving forward from there. Okay. So I always like to look again at the exact time and date of the new moon to see exactly where things are. You can see here, interestingly, at the time of the new moon, the vertex point, we talked about the feminine energy, the vertex point, which is like a big destiny shift, a big destiny change, right, is about to hit Ceres at the time of this new moon in Leo. So it really is a time for the new feminine, right, the new authentic, the real feminine, right, the new modern 2022 feminine to come out and to shine and to be even more healed. I just think that's beautiful as a little side note. We've got Chiron here in Aries. Obviously, Chiron is also in retrograde, so it's something to keep in mind here is, not only are things, very retrospective or very like introspective, but, Chiron and retrograde as well means like really deep past life, even childhood wounds can be coming up to the surface right now. You might be having visions or dreams or thoughts about things way out of like what's happening or what's happened recently. And just a thing to keep in mind there. Let's see. One last. Yeah, that's right. So thank you, Spirit. So Saturn, okay, So Saturn is also hitting a trine here. Saturn's also in retrograde, to keep in mind. So a lot of planets in retrograde trining Mars in Gemini. Okay, so this will be the big last, I mean, it's a degree away, so it's a pretty big alignment here. So Saturn trine Mars in Gemini. So first let me just speak to Mars in Gemini, and then I'll get to Saturn, because it's been in Aquarius for a bit. It's about to hit 20 degrees here. So Mars in Gemini is, it really is that spark that we're talking about that came through with Pluto. But even more so than that, right? Fire and air, okay, because Mars rules Aries. Gemini is obviously an air sign. Fire and air come together and they create explosive growth, explosive new opportunity. And really what I'm getting here, especially with trine Saturn, is the work you've been putting into your daily life and the work you've been putting in generally to yourself and to maybe your job and to some prior dedicated practice, it's about to pay off in a big way. It has the opportunity to pay off in a big way moving forward with this energy. But it's going to pay off in a different way. Does that make sense? It's going to pay off in a different way. There's going to be new avenues that open up for you that, because of the work you've been putting into something else, perhaps that's unrelated to this new ventures or new venture that you're going to be going on, it's going to go well. It's going to go well. It's going to have this explosive growth or this explosive opportunity for you to be able to move forward in a brand new direction. But it's only because that, and that's the Saturn, right? The Saturn there says with this trine that whatever it is you've put in your time, you put in your work, is going to fuel that Mars in Gemini to have the freedom to pursue different advantageous and explosively growing opportunities for you, or different avenues or different paths that really are exciting. Okay, now contrary to that, if there's something you've needed to move away from that's been preventing your excitement or preventing your ability to be authentically ready for the future or optimistic for the future or just inspired by life, then that thing really is going to come into a big need to fall away. It's going to become very obvious that thing is, it's time for that thing to crumble. And you may go through some pretty incredible, heart-wrenching moments with that, whatever that thing is. If you're not ready to let it go, or you're refusing to let go of it, it's going to go in some really intense moments of, heart, I need to let this go, because there's this healing, there's this deep inner healing going on where if there's something that there is needing to be let go, it's like your heart's so connected to it on a spiritual level, even a past life level, that it's like, it's like seemingly impossible to let that go. And so obviously, without saying, right, even though it's hard, you do need to let that go in order to experience the explosive new opportunity and growth fueled by all of the hard work you put into that thing that now perhaps needs to go. So as always, right, with new moons, let go of the old, let go of that thing that is keeping, right, energetically, it's keeping your energy from being explosively excited, inspired, and aligned with your next set of paths. The last thing I'll say is, with this energy, Mars and Gemini hitting with the new moon, there is an opportunity for multiple different types of things, multiple avenues, multiple jobs, multiple creative projects, multiple things to inspire and light your path, not just one. Mars and Gemini loves to explore and be at the forefront of the horizon and trying different things and having really good luck most of the time with these new different things. So be sure to put your best foot forward, give new things a shot, do some experimentation, see what sticks. And in a bit moving forward from here, there will be some sticking time, some sticking points is what Spirit tells me, to be able to really ground in for the longer term. But right now, it's about having some fun and having the ability to experience that rapid growth and that feeling of spark and inspiration if you have indeed been doing your work, and allow yourself to let go of things that are keeping you from being the most excited and passionate you can about life. All right. Well, finally, in closing, I would say, for those of us that are going through some challenges or having a lot of anxiety, or there's a lot of things that are unexpected, I just want to say, just keep your head down. Keep your head down. Okay. And what I mean by that is keep focusing on one step ahead. Keep focusing on the road in front of you. There are many different roads that could appear to you right now. There are many different avenues. There are many different heartaches and distractions that could get in the way of your path, of your purpose. And right now, and it's unfortunate to say in some respects, but I have to say it, the best thing that we can do, the best thing that you can do, is focus exclusively on your heart's path and your steps forward right now, so that in time, when the time is right and the time is available, you can help those around you. But the reality is, you can't help those around you if you haven't helped yourself. And with that, I'll go ahead and close out this new moon video. Last thing I will say, by the way, as we close out, is if you guys, I have this crazy announcement. Like, if you guys are wanting to work with me, but maybe the one-on-one coaching was a little bit out of your price range, or even the one-on-one sessions, I have a brand new group coaching program. You get a private community, you get weekly sessions with me in a group format, and you also get updates via Marco Polo. It's a video chat app with me in the group, and a like-minded community of amazing individuals who are all focused on healing, on pursuing and discovering their true soul's path, and becoming the best individual they can so they can change the world. It's called the Inner Compass Coaching Group, and you can check the link in the description box below. It's only $33 a month to join right now. Special introductory offer. This will only last for a very limited time before the price goes up. It's kind of a crazy price, but it's what I've decided to pursue at this time to help as many people as possible. So if you're interested in checking that out, again, check that description box below. Be sure to hit subscribe on the channel to get more content just like this. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this content, and definitely share your experience with us in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. All right, guys, until next time, Brandon Tobias, over now. Thanks so much for watching this content. I hope you got a lot out of it. And if you want to go deeper on your spiritual journey and find out how you can align with your true soul purpose to create more health, wealth, and true love in your life, check out one of these videos on either side, and be sure to hit subscribe so you can join the soul family and never miss another video. If you want a personal reading or a session with me, you can check those out at brandontobias.com. And thanks so much again for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.